to the course on Chemical Reaction Engineering 1. Myself, Neeti Mehta, Assistant Professor at Chemical Engineering Department, LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So let's just start our topic, which is overview of chemical reaction engineering. As we already know that we have started this particular topic, that is chapter number 1 in our previous session, and we have already covered what do we mean by chemical reaction engineering, what is chemical reaction, what are various categories of chemical reactions, right? What do we mean by chemical kinetics, and some important terminologies associated with chemical reaction engineering, such as extent of reaction, conversion, selectivity, etc. Also, we have covered topics like elementary reactions and non-elementary reactions. In this particular session, we will deal with all the terms which are associated with non-elementary reactions. When we are talking about non-elementary reaction, we know that non-elementary reactions are considered to be a combination of elementary reactions. Including that, we also say that there are more than one elementary steps which are involved to form final product which is produced in non-elementary reaction. Right, and we say that individual reaction have their own intermediate product which is formed. We are calling it as intermediate product just because its quantity is very less to quantify. Right, so let us start our today's session with types of intermediates. Types of intermediate are basically deal with non-elementary reaction. Right. They are associated with our non-elementary reaction and various steps which are involved in non-elementary reaction. So, there are 4 different categories of intermediates which can be used to form a non-elementary reaction mechanism. As you can see, the first category is free radical, the second category is ions and polar substances, the third one is molecules, and the last one is transaction complexes. Each of them differ from each other, and we'll see one by one what are they mean by it and how they deal with our reaction. So the first category is free radical, right? So when we are talking about the free radical, it is basically free atom or larger fragments of some stable compounds or molecules that contain one or more unpaired electron, right? Whenever there is an unpaired electron present in atoms or molecules, those are termed as free radical. So the unpaired electron is designated or is represented by a dot in the chemical symbol of that particular substance, right? So this is the example CH3 dot or C2H5 dot. This, as you can see here in the picture, this dot sign represents that it is a free radical. Again I am repeating, free radical are basically unpaired electrons which are present in atoms or molecules, right? So this is one of the category of our intermediate. The next category of intermediate is ions and polar substances. So let us see what do we mean by ions and polar substances. As we know that it is basically electrically charged atoms, molecules or fragments of some molecules which are associated with each other, right? So coming to this, as you can see here, NH3 negative, Na positive or OH negative. So this minus or plus sign, whenever it is present, it represents that it is ions and polar substances, and it is an intermediate which is formed during a reaction. The next category will be molecules. So what do we mean by molecules? So whenever there is a series of reaction which is happening, the intermediate which is forming in that particular succession of reaction is highly reactive, right? It means that its lifetime is very slow, and that's why it is quite difficult to measure it. All such substances are termed as molecular intermediate or molecules intermediate, right? So in such a situation, intermediate may not be observed and can be considered to be a reactive intermediate, and that reactive intermediate is basically a molecular intermediate, right? So whenever there is some intermediate product which is formed and that is just getting absorbed quickly or getting reacted quickly, then it is termed as molecular intermediates. The next category is transition complexes. So what do we mean by transition complexes? There are number of collisions between reactant molecule which result in some distribution of energies among some individual molecules, right? And due to that, there is resultant strained bonds, right? And those strained bonds or unstable association are termed as transition complexes. So basically, whenever there is a random collision between reactants, it is having some transfer of energy which will ultimately result in formation of some unstable molecules or products that are termed as transition complexes, right? So the unstable association of molecules which can then either decompose to give product or further collide will termed as this transition complexes. Now let us see what do we mean by, depending on the type of intermediate, basically we can classify our reaction scheme. Reaction scheme is basically for how we can proceed with our non-elementary reaction. If you are having any non-elementary reaction and if you need to write a scheme, what are various steps which are involved in this particular mechanism, then we can go for this reaction scheme. So depending on what is the type of intermediate which is present in our system, we can have two different categories of reaction scheme. The first one is non-chain reaction. Non-chain reaction refers to this particular scheme. When your reactant reacts itself and convert into some intermediate product, and that intermediate again gets converted into the final product, right? So this is a non-chain reaction. Why we are calling it as a non-chain reaction? Because it is not dependent on the other substance, right? So it is like reactant itself, it is getting converted into some intermediate, and that intermediate, when provided with proper temperature and pressure condition, is getting converted into final product. So this is a non-chain reaction scheme. And when you are talking about the another category which is chain reaction, you can see here the reactant is converting itself into intermediate. That intermediate again combines with reactant and forms some intermediate product and the final product. So this mechanism is termed as a chain reaction. When that formed intermediate is again combining itself with reactant to form your final product. So this is a chain reaction. As you can see here, that form, the intermediate which was formed in step number 1 again combined itself with the reactant, and hence the final product is obtained. Now let us start with testing kinetic models. Why do we need to test kinetic models, and what is kinetic model? Basically, whenever we are having non-elementary reactions, we need to propose some model to support that particular reaction. Proposing model or proposing scheme means that we need to give number of steps to support that particular reaction, right? So we are having single reaction and how that reactant are getting converted into final product. We will give them multiple steps of conversion of reactant from that particular step to the final product, right? So we need to test a given proposed scheme or kinetic models. So how to test the correspondence between experimental and proposed mechanism? It basically involves a sequence of elementary reactions. As we already said that non-elementary reactions are basically a combination of or a sequence of elementary reactions, right? So type number 1, an unseen and unreacted intermediate X usually present at such small concentration that its rate of change in the mixture can be taken as 0. So what do we assume here is, we basically assume that whatever the amount of intermediate is present is coming to be 0. Right? We assume that intermediate is present in such a small quantity that it is finally coming to be 0. So this is the first thing which we are going to take as a testing rule for our kinetic model, and this particular law or testing model rule is termed as steady state approximation, right? Why we are doing that? Because we are ultimately saying that there is a very little amount of intermediate which is being formed, and that is nearly constant, and whenever we are going to differentiate any constant value, it is ultimately going to be 0, right? That's why we are saying that there is small amount of intermediate product which is forming, and that is ultimately considered to be 0. And the next rule is where a homogeneous catalyst of initial concentration C0 is present in two different forms, either as free catalyst or combined with an appreciable extent of intermediate X, then it can be given as C0 is equals to C plus X. That is, initial concentration is assumed to be combination of both of them, right? So here we are assuming that again that dx by dt, that is rate of change of intermediate with respect to time, is ultimately going to be 0, because intermediate are assumed to be present in constant amount or very little quantity. So this is all about today's session. I will give you a quick recap of what we have covered in our today's session. In today's session we have done the intermediates, right? So we have seen what are various categories of intermediate which are present and how we can use them to determine the non-elementary reaction. To write non-elementary reaction, we need some elementary reaction, right? A non-elementary reaction can be represented in its form by using the elementary reaction. So in this particular session we have learned about what are various categories of intermediates and what is the kinetic model which we can use for testing those intermediates, right? I just hope whatever topic we have covered today is quite clear. Thank you.